Sons of the Forest is one of the most beautiful yet haunting survival games ever made, and with a great combination of survival game mechanics mixed with horror game elements, you find yourself in a world where the atmosphere is thick with tension and dread. The main focus of the game is survival. You need to explore the forest and uncover the dark secrets while still defending yourself from hostile creatures. And one of the most unique aspects of the game is the advanced AI system, and they will actually strategize, set traps, and hunt you, but more on that later. Now the main gameplay revolves around survival, exploration, crafting, and combat, and the game caters heavily towards players who enjoy survival horror experiences. You'll need to manage resources and face constant threats, and when you first start playing, you find yourself stranded, alone, in a mysterious forest, and time is ticking. You need to find shelter, food, and water to survive. You'll begin with the basic tools and crafting. You need to gather sticks and stones to build a simple shelter or create basic weapons. This could be a spear or bow, basically just trying to understand the core mechanics of the game. But then as you progress and unlock more resources, you can craft more advanced tools and structures. For example, you can build a small cabin for better protection. You can set traps to catch animals, or even craft armor to defend yourself. And the crafting system is quite detailed and very unique, and allows you to combine different materials to create useful items. Another key system is the day-night cycle. During the day, you can explore the forest, gather resources, and build your base. However, as night falls, the forest becomes much more dangerous, with the enemies being more aggressive and active, and they can get real tense. The replayability in Sons of the Forest is quite high due to the open world nature and the dynamic AI, and therefore every playthrough can be quite different based on your choices and strategies. The map is also vast, with many hidden secrets and areas to explore. Basically, you always have something new to discover. In terms of the progression system overall, it takes you from a basic survival to a more advanced and strategic game, as you uncover the mysteries of the forest. The early game is all about gathering basic resources, but then as you progress and get more advanced materials, you can craft better gear. You might start off with a basic spear, but then later on craft more powerful weapons like a crossbow or a gun. And this progression can also be seen in terms of the building. Now in terms of the storyline is a massive part of the game. You play as a survivor of a helicopter crash, and you must navigate the forest and uncover its dark secrets. And you do this by finding clues and completing objectives that reveal more about the forest. Now one of the most unique aspects of the game is the AI-driven enemy. This system is not just about attacking you, it's about creating a dynamic and unpredictable world where the enemies actually have their own behavior, strategies, and even emotions. By enemies, we mean of course the mutated creatures and cannibal tribes. But they don't just mindlessly rush at you like a zombie in The Walking Dead. They can be very curious, fearful, or even strategic in their approach. This can be seen a lot in terms of your building. If they see you building a strong base, they might not just attack you head on, but instead they'll observe you from a distance and start testing you and look for weak points. They can also set up their own ambushes, call for help, or retreat when they feel outmatched. And while the first few encounters might be easy, you'll soon find out just how bad they can get, and you need to be able to constantly adapt on the fly. Another key feature is the companion system. Unlike many other survival games where you complete alone, here you can interact with AI companions, which can help you with various tasks. This could be gathering resources, building structures, or defending against the enemies, which adds a quite unique aspect to the gameplay. The dynamic guerrilla system and day-night cycle also play a crucial role. The environment will change drastically all of a sudden. The weather conditions will affect your visibility, movement, and even the behavior of the enemy. For example, during a storm where you can see basically nothing, the enemies might be more aggressive or use the cover of the darkness to jump you. And all of this unique system combined is what really makes the game stand out. The AI system, always keeping you on your toes, the companion system, adding a unique aspect, and the dynamic guerrilla and day-night cycle. It all helps to create a realistic and immersive world. Now, Sons of the Forest is a difficult game, especially for new players, but it is also quite rewarding if you stick with it. Now, the game will not hold your hand whatsoever, meaning you have to figure out a lot of things on your own, using the good old trial and error approach, which can be quite exciting but also frustrating. On your first playthrough, you might think that you've set up a good base that is very protected, but all of a sudden you realize there's a massive leak and you are now flooded with enemies. And this will happen more than once. But it can also happen to the even more experienced player, just due to how dynamic the game is, both in terms of the enemy AI, but also the environment itself, always changing and shifting. I would say all in all, the game caters more to the hardcore player, who enjoys this kind of tough survival experience mixed with the horror, and mainly that's due to learning from your mistakes and improving your strategies. Now the game does offer multiple difficulty modes, if you want to make it easier or harder on yourself, but the trial and error approach will still stand, and you need to be okay with this if you want to buy the game. Now the graphics in Sons of the Forest is amazing, and really brings the forest setting to life. This can be seen in the detailed environment, the realistic lighting, and the crazy weather effects that can make you feel like you're in a really dense and spooky forest. Even the character and creator design is also very detailed and unique, and you'll discover some horrifying things. The sound and music is also top notch. range. Anywhere from the ambient noises of the rustling leaves, the distant animal sound, and the ominous music. They all work really well together to create a tense atmosphere, and you never know if the sound of a footprint is yourself or an enemy right behind you. Now let's go over some pros and cons. Now the first pro is the graphics. The game looks amazing. It has a very detailed environment and realistic lighting. It really makes the forest and the world feel alive, and you'll discover some beautiful scenery once in a while, and then the occasional horrifying monster. The next pro is the immersive atmosphere. By this, I mean the combination of the sound design and visual really make you feel truly immersed, and every sound and sight really adds to the tension of the game. The next pro is the gameplay mechanics. The game offers a lot of depth actually, both in terms of survival mechanics, crafting, and exploration, and due to how deep they go, it gives the game a lot of replayability. The next pro is the unique features. Sons of the Forest is truly a unique survival game, both in terms of the really advanced AI system, but also the dynamic weather, and it all adds a really nice twist to the survival genre in total. And in terms of the cons, the first one is the steep learning curve. The game will be quite hard for beginners, as it doesn't hold your hand whatsoever, and you will definitely struggle to survive at first. The next con is the bugs and glitches. There will be some bugs and glitches that will affect the gameplay. Now these aren't massive and completely destroying the experience, but you will get stuck once in a while, but I have patched a lot of them since release. The next con is the perhaps repetitive nature. If you use the fast-paced, high-octane gameplay, you might find the gameplay loop a little bit repetitive after a while, as it will involve a lot of gathering resources and crafting. So with all that said, let's grade the game. And here I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10, but there is definitely room for improvement once the developers fix a few more issues. But in conclusion, the game has stunning graphics and a really immersive atmosphere, and is honestly some of the best in the entire survival genre. The detailed environment, dynamic weather, and realistic lighting all help to make the world feel alive and quite dangerous. The gameplay mechanics and progression systems are well designed and well thought out. They offer a deep and challenging survival experience, anywhere from the basic crafting to the more advanced building projects. And the game definitely has a lot of different content to keep you engaged. However, the steep learning curve and lack of handholding can be quite daunting for new players, and the game will demand a lot of trial and error, which will be rewarding for hardcore gamers, but might deter the more casual gamer. The game is also still somewhat affected by the glitches and bugs overall, which can sometimes disrupt the gameplay. Additionally, some of the repetitive nature of the gathering and crafting can become quite intense with just how much material you need, but that'll be up to you as an individual. But Sons of the Forest is a fantastic game if you love a truly immersive survival experience. It is a hands down very unique and standout title, and it's definitely one of those games that you either love or hate. But if you're a true survival game enjoyer, you will truly love it for its challenging and immersive experience. The detailed crafting system, the exploration, and a bit of horror mixed into it makes it a game definitely worth buying. Now if you found this review helpful and it gave you some insight, consider hitting the like button. It's free and it helps the channel out a ton. And if you want to see more game reviews, I highly recommend checking out the video on the screen now, and I'll see you in that video.